Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Do you think that you can compete when you hear the fat beat? You need stamina like an athlete. Unique. Continue the future technique. Full heat. Let the microphone burn as I speak. All right. Now we're getting into the sound. Pick it up, shake it up, turn it upside down. That was Ronnie Size and Represent. This is Story Route Zero. My name is Matthew Keel. I've got three co-hosts with me. It's episode 33. Mouth of the South. How are you, Moose?
Doing well, man. Doing well. How are you?
I'm well. Transplant Masshole. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
And Jazz Hands Jason Marshall. How are you?
Fantastic.
We talk about the video games here. But first, how was everybody's weekend? Moose gives us a thumbs up. Jason gives us a thumbs up. Michaela gives us a thumbs up. Any highlights? Don't everybody.
Oh, guys, I won. I took Team Sweat to the championship.
Oh, you got a
retired.
crown? You got a crown?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, you got a crown.
Good job.
I was giving TB and Jason heart attacks with how close I was jumping to the spinning beams that knock you down.
There were lag issues watching him, and I got very anxious. I was on the verge of standing up. Jump, Moose! Jump!
Like, I got this. If I jump too early, it'll
Quit
hit
talking!
me.
I'm going to get distracted! Anything non-gaming related? Jason, Michaela, anybody? Anybody other than me? I feel like I've drone on this segment.
Went home.
You went home?
Oh, you went home?
I went home. I visited my mom and my pups.
Aw. Yay. Very
Yes.
nice.
What kind of dogs do you have?
My mom's, we have a Yorkie, she of the no teeth and deafness.
Sweet.
And we have a Shorkie, which is made up. Half Shih Tzu, half Yorkie. And then
Okay.
my dad
I was hoping for half shark, half corgi. Shorty. Damn it.
He kind of is, though.
All I want is a freaking half shark and a half Yorkie. No,
She's round like a sausage, and she's kind of like a little tornado. She's very much a princess. She's my mom's empty nest dog.
Oh, okay.
Spoiled as
All
crap.
right. So she's like, do you have any brothers or sisters? I actually don't know this about you.
I have one biologic younger sister, and then I have, 7 stepbrothers and stepsisters?
Okay. So, like, the 7 stepbrothers and stepsisters, did you grow up with any of them in the house or no?
If I was with my dad, a couple of them.
Okay. So
split time.
Oh, I did the same thing as a kid. But so the Shorkie is like the third child then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe the first at this point.
I'm not talking about rank. I'm talking about chronology.
Yep.
Yeah, because chronologically, my family goes my younger sister first, then my parents' dog, then my parents' dead dog, then me. So
sounds about right.
I mean, it's fair. Like, they've earned it.
I've heard about your parents.
Yeah, they're interesting people. Jason.
The little one's walking more, and speaking of dogs, horrified. You could see the fear in Callie's eyes. She's like,
I'm sure.
"Oh, get away from me!" Have you ever seen a toddler walk? They kind of stumble. They're like drunken circus folk. They just boom.
But then when they see something they want, that like gleam comes in their eyes. So Callie Price sees that like, that whatever that thing is walking, it's gonna.
And any gleam left in Callie's eyes is just glossed over. She's like, get away from me. That's about it. Just relaxed this weekend.
Cool. I was on regular schedule this weekend, which was nice.
Nice. That's good.
I could not sleep Saturday night at all. So, like Moose said prior to starting the show, I actually rewatched The Last Dance.
Okay.
And that's still a good documentary. I know Moose said he liked it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It points out a lot of problems with, competition and athletes, but I don't think they're there to be
can't really stop it. So.
Exactly. Also, I did watch some NBA from the bubble, and Damian Lillard just decided he's just going to be the best player in the NBA right now with as many points as he's scoring, just willing Portland to the playoffs. And good for him. Good for them. And I'm excited about basketball. And yes, I know we are in a pandemic. So it's nice to be excited for sports, but also I just hope everybody stays safe. Like, that's what I want.
They're doing the best they can. So
yeah, I mean,
sports.
Yeah.
Some sports are doing the best they can. Baseball's like
baseball's the wild fucking west.
Like, whatever. I'm sure NASCAR is going to be like whatever.
Like the Marlins are like, yep, 19 players got COVID. So the Cardinals are like, let's go to a casino together.
Yep, because
what is wrong with you people?
Makes the most sense. But then Reba and I basically stayed in bed all yesterday.
Nice.
Despite having all of these ambitions and ideas of getting shit done. And we got out of bed at the ripe early hour of 7 p.m. and played video games. It was actually great. I'll talk about that in a little bit, though. Who's playing what? Who wants to talk about it? Actually, you know what? Stop. Don't talk. No, not Hammer Time. We didn't talk about our next game club game. We talked about it like prior to last show, but didn't actually mention it.
Oh, right.
Okay. So we are doing Crosscode, which was recently released. So with our game club, we're just deciding to be on the cutting edge. So Crosscode.
Technically, the console cutting edge.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah, it's been out on PC for a little bit, hasn't it?
It's been
a hot minute. Not too long.
What is release date now?
Nobody plays on PC anyways.
Yeah, right? Did it come out this year? I don't even know.
On PC?
Last year. I think
last year on PC.
Console,
maybe.
A couple months ago. So we'll go by that.
So it came out.
Consoles this year. Yes.
It came out 10 years ago in 2019.
To be fair, we're still in like March of 2020, so we're on the cutting edge for console release.
Yeah. So Crosscode is going to be our game club game. We'll be doing that, I think, 3 weeks now?
Yeah.
I don't have a calendar in front of me, and I'm not going to look at my phone anymore.
No, it's 3 weeks.
So now, who's been playing what, and who wants to talk about it? Who should go first?
Michaela. What you been playing?
Michaela, you've been volunteered to go first. Last week you were lazy, though. Let's be fair.
Oh, shots
Excuse
fired.
me?
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Fired.
What?
Oh,
It's all right. I'm going to offend you first, then I'm going to bring out the puns, and I'm going to be horrible.
Ooh, why did I not bring whiskey again?
Well, it's okay. I've not been
Listen,
up for 25 hours straight. So
we've all been part of this. You're still learning that becomes part of the repertoire. Like when I went to get a drink, you darn tootin', it was a beer.
I have 2 waters.
Okay, one of those needs to be swapped out.
It's because he saw the Matthew Keel shaped catastrophe headed his way.
You gotta
I gotta prepare.
You gotta bring your A game.
Maybe next week. I'll just bring the whole handle of Jack in the room.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. All right. So what have I been playing? I played a little bit of Game Club game, obviously not much, and then I played also on my Switch some more Slay the Spire. Just jumped in for a couple rounds with that. Mostly playing with the robot character. I don't know what they call it, like an automaton thing.
Yeah, robot good and Slay the Spire.
Yes.
Didn't you platinum something?
I did platinum something. Thank you for reminding me because I forgot I platinumed Ghost.
Oh, Michaela's a real gamer again.
Oh, I am not. Like, you guys don't want to know how few platinums I have.
That's we don't care.
No,
or at least I don't.
It's all right.
I care about my own count, and that's it. I don't even really compare it to others because
I didn't start getting platinums till 2017 though, because I skipped PS3 and I didn't get PS4 till then.
I didn't play PS3 either. I didn't start getting platinums till 2014 when I bought a PS4, so it's all good.
Yeah, I got mine in 2017. I saved up after I graduated college, got myself a PS4.
I mean,
nice.
You did a Soul level 1 run, right, of Dark Souls. You completed it, right? Then anyone who wants to question your gaming skills can
exactly.
Up.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't platinum it though. I did the Soul level 1, but
I have not platinumed Dark Souls either. I did Dark Souls 3.
I just don't bother with the rings and the
But here's the thing though, it's not that bad. I was so mad that I waited so long to platinum that because when I did the grind to get the rings, I was like, it was not that long. It was like maybe 2-3 days.
I played Neo for a couple 100 hours before I bothered. I was like, oh, the platinum's not that bad. I'll just do it.
Yeah. But I am happy to say that like a bunch of the people in our community, from Richie's community, who also have Dark Souls 3 and are thinking of platinum, I'll throw out the little test. I'll be like, hey, if you want me to drop the rings for you, I'll drop the rings. And I always get the nope. I'll get them. I'll get them in game. And I'm like, good answer. Correct answer, you know? Earn it. I know you want to earn it. I like that.
I would just love it. Someone says, yeah, I'll just take the rings. And then all of a sudden, like, removed from friends list. Out of the
dung pie. I'm going to drop dung pies for them. That's what and I'll be like, here's your rings. Go fucking farm.
Kicked out of the Discord. Blocked on Facebook. Unfollowed on Twitter. You can just see, like, Moose just has the button. Anyway, Dark Souls 3 was an insane platinum because not only did I have to do the grind for the Covenant, but I thought I had the platinum with getting the ring after Nameless, and I fought Nameless for a while. And so then Marco helped me, and I beat him, and I didn't get the ring. The last ring, he's like, you probably need the Ring of Life +3 ring, which is behind the Gundyr fight. And I'm like, all right, well, I got to go. So I ended stream, went and had dinner, and then I just posted in my Discord, let's go. We're doing this. Fired it back up, and I'm like, we're getting the platinum tonight. And I got the platinum. And then... Was it Champion Gundyr?
Yeah, it was Champion Gundyr's fight in the Graves, Undead Graves, or whatever that...
It's the second Gundyr fight, right?
Yes, the second Gundyr fight. And then I was so stubborn, and I was upset that I appreciated the help for Nameless, but I was like, I want to fight him myself. I proceeded to, not like that same week, but like a little time later, I streamed for 5 hours my New Game plus fight with Nameless until I beat him. And then when I won, all of my viewers went deaf. Because I screamed.
Nameless
so
is a
loud.
tough fight. You literally have the problem is I used to dodge too early on Nameless. You really
That's
have
the
to
thing.
pause.
Yes. No, that is the thing. Like I was starting to
breathe.
get yes. His dodging is a little unconventional, and his attacks, like I always would forget about the third attack, and then that would just fuck everything up. And I started to get to the point where I'm like, all right, naked straps. I might go for naked straps where I'm not wearing anything and just like trying to fast roll through his stuff. And like
Works
pulling
against
a Miklos out there. But anyways, it was a good run, and I do want to get the Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls Platinum, but I need to platinum that and do a SL1 run. Which
SL1 was fun. My nameless fight was actually hitless. And
GG.
Never mind. You know what?
Who needs platinums?
I'm sorry I made that dumbass real gamer joke because I couldn't do nameless hitless. So.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, fuck platinums when you got a hitless nameless kill.
Yep.
You know, that's awesome.
I ruined the video though. I sang White Christmas over it while I was doing it.
There you go. Just yes. Now that is the content I'm here for.
It was December. It was appropriate.
Yeah, that's funny. I like that.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I platinumed Ghost. So that
GG,
was
by the way.
fun. Thank you. I played a little Slay the Spire, played a little Game Club, and I had every intention of starting the Neo 2 DLC this weekend, but I just couldn't get in the mood. So I pulled something out of my JRPG nonsense, and I started Persona 5 Royal today.
There you go.
Did you play regular Persona 5?
Yes,
okay,
I did.
Okay.
It took me
So now-
135 hours the first time.
That's about right. Yeah. That's about
From
right.
my understanding, this is kind of like Persona 4 Golden. Like, it's a better version of the game. It's not
There's
like
more
a sequel.
content. Yeah, there's more
But it's
content.
not necessarily like a sequel or
No,
like...
that's Persona 5S.
Yeah, okay.
The Muso game is actually a sequel to Persona 5 Royal.
Okay.
That's out in Japan, but doesn't have a Western release date yet, but it will be coming to the
probably will
PS4
be.
and Switch.
Nice.
Persona, apart from the weird lore in the main series, like Persona 4 and then Persona 4 Gold, and then Persona 4 Arena, like all of that sort of has its own continuity. And then there's Persona 4 Ultimax something, which is a sequel to Arena. And then there's the 3DS one that has additional stuff in it as well. Persona Q, I think is what it's called. And then, then there's the rhythm games that add even
Dancing All
more.
Night.
So, Dancing All Night, dancing in Moonlight, dancing in Starlight.
Yes.
All of those things add to the Persona 4 between Persona 4 and between Persona 3 and Persona 5. And it's almost Kingdom Hearts level convoluted.
Almost.
But I will contend that you can understand the Persona stuff. You can't understand the Kingdom Hearts stuff.
No, well, Persona, you can play 3, 4, 5 individually. You don't need, you can play 5 without knowing 3 or 4 very easily. Because they're connected with their like lore and background like a lot of Final Fantasy games are, but they're anthologized.
Okay. So it's like the world is kind of connected, but like the people in it are not really.
Correct,
yeah.
Okay.
The themes are very similar, you know.
Right, yeah.
It's a JRPG. You have to band together as rebels and kill God with the power of friendship.
I was just gonna say, like, your first mission is to like go fetch some groceries, and then your last mission is like kill God. So it's like, okay.
With the power of friendship.
Sounds like a Tuesday.
Yeah. And then
that's a Tuesday for every game.
In between there, the tarot comes into it. Mythology comes into it. Penis monsters come into it. Like it's
don't with Mara. Don't. Kamoshida's bad enough. Replaying I'm doing Kamoshida's castle right now, and I'm like, I forgot how much I hate this asshole.
Yeah, he's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Royal, Royal obviously Royal. It changes stuff. Obviously, the poster for it is like the cover, the main draw. The attraction is a new main character. I believe her name is Kasumi. So she's introduced from the very beginning. Like it changes that opening cinematic. You know what I'm talking about, where it's like the part where you get caught and it starts the frame tail. She's in it right from the beginning. Obviously, there's a lot I don't know about her because I have not looked up any spoilers. I haven't had anything spoiled for me. I haven't found any of the new confidants yet, but I know that there's obviously new character, new confidants, and I believe a whole extra semester or at least a couple extra months of content. So
summer school.
Yeah, summer school. So it goes from like a 135-hour game the first time, which I took my time. With JRPGs, when I'm not reviewing them, I take my time. I don't play games fast. I know you can probably beat it in 80 to 90 hours, but that's just, I maxed all of my social stats on my first playthrough, as many of the confidants as I could. I romanced Best Girl.
Who's best girl?
Makoto.
Oh, okay. All right.
A lot of people pick On. My roommate picked Futaba, but I can't romance Futaba. She's like little sister to me.
Yeah, I really like Futaba. Futaba's my favorite character, but I couldn't romance her either.
Exactly. She's
felt bad.
awesome, but
Yeah,
not
I felt real
as
bad.
yeah, not as like the Valentine's date. But yeah, so me it's Makoto.
Makoto's good. Makoto's
yes.
good shit.
Yes, she's great. But one thing so far that I've encountered, and I'm not very far, I'm still in Kamoshida's palace. I don't have On in my party yet, but she's in the palace, like captured at this point. Is that they changed how guns work in Royal versus base Persona 5.
Okay.
Which is a weird change. I don't know if it was called for, but originally your guns, so every character has a melee weapon, they have their persona, which is basically how you use magic and other types of special attacks, and then you have a gun. Because why not? It's Persona. Right.
Yes.
And usually they're good at knocking down flying characters to make them vulnerable. And you had a set amount of ammo for each gun, and different guns had more ammo versus more power type of, a shotgun versus like a Tommy gun type of deal. And the way it works now, instead of having to like manage your ammo the same way that you manage your SP, which is what MP, magic points, whatever, ammo refills after the end of every battle.
Okay.
Which makes it, at least in the early game, very spammable.
Yeah.
You can just unload an entire clip if you're fighting like 2 enemies and not have to worry about it because you get all 8 bullets back after the fight. So I don't know how I feel about that yet. A very minor change, but it was strange.
I mean, I think that's probably just one of the measures they did to sort of streamline things. Because as much as I love Persona 5, like
it's long.
It's a lot up front. It is a lot. I mean, I feel like it's even more than 4 was.
Yeah, it's a lot of management. Persona games are spin-off of SMT games, and those are known, especially the one that's coming to Switch next year, for their difficulty. And it's not just that the fights are punishing, it's that your resource management, you have to be pretty on point. Your time management, you have to be pretty on point. Stuff like that. You really have to, like, this is not a RPG I'd recommend for somebody who's never played a turn-based RPG before.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, they changed a mechanic, which I knew they were adding content to the game. I wasn't expecting them to change, like, a battle mechanic. But I mean, it's Persona 5, so it's a fantastic game. It's a generation-defining JRPG. So
yeah, it really is. Anything else?
Nope, just those 4.
Okay. Moose, Jason?
Moose did something special.
I had the rare sighting of a great white elk in my living room. So I was sitting there. The wife and I were having a good day. We went for donuts for breakfast. We burned some shit because it rained and it's wet out. So we're like, fire, whatever. It's cool. So we did a fire, and then
what video game was this?
Just nobody's fucking talking to you. So we come inside, and the wife is like, I'm gonna make some black beans and diced tomatoes and stuff for like burritos. And I was like, okay, cool. She's making that, and I'm in the living room. She just comes in and she's like, you got any zombie games to play? The last time she asked me that question, we lived in a different house.
Wow.
So I have a coworker of mine let me borrow Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip. It's a twin stick shooter.
Okay.
So I was like, I got this for us to play. If you want to play it, let's play it. And mind you, the wife and I have been drinking some beers. Some good ones. And so we proceeded to beat the entire game. So it's not really that long of a game, but I will tell you there's a couple issues with the game. The humor is there from the movie. I just like the last mission, you're just like, what is going on here? Like the difficulty just like ramps up. Like you just blow through the first 9 missions and then you get to mission 10 and you're like, what is going on? So it took us like 3 or 4 tries to like figure out how to get past it. But we eventually did, and we beat it, and then just went right back around and started up, mission 1 and started playing through it again. So that was quite the experience because the wife rarely ever plays video games with me. So I was like, yeah. And so it was really funny because everybody else was playing Fall Guys, and I had a buddy of mine on stream watching him play Fall Guys. She's like, every 2 minutes, she's like, do you want to play? I'm like, you are playing video games with me. Shut up and let's play. And so I said, no, I'm just watching him have a good time. I will play with him eventually at some time down the line, so it's like, whatever. And so we had a really good time playing that. I feel she enjoyed it. Especially, awesome. I think she did because she wanted to go back around to mission 1. But so played that and beat that. What else have I been playing? I found out. So I messaged y'all about it, but there's a game out there called Hammer Watch, which is on the PS4 and it's on PC, and it's like this roguelike dungeon crawler, kind of a twin stick shooter. You got classes, got epic bosses. Well, it's kind of like a side game. It's called Heroes of Hammer Watch. Just launched like at the end of July. Didn't even know it was coming out. So it just launched at the end of July on Switch. So I like nabbed that and have been playing that and am loving it. And then I was like looking at the developer and I was like, man, I feel like I've seen their work elsewhere. And there's a twin stick shooter for Serious Sam that's out there. And they did it. And I think it's Crackshell is the name of the team. And I was like, what? I was like, that's why Crack Store. What? No, that might not be it. But anyways,
Where are you buying crack from?
You don't want to know, man. I apparently don't want to know. But anyway, so
apparently the North Carolina bodegas are wild.
So, anyways,
Crack Shell.
Crack Shell. Yeah. See, I said Crack Shell, but I'm looking at the T-shirts, and it says T-shirts by Crack Store on. It's on T Republic, so that's why it threw me off. But anyways, so I played a bunch of Hammer Watch, and then jumped into Heroes of Hammer Watch, and you can see the improvements. Like there's an actual leveling system, so your health increases, whereas in like Hammer Watch is just like a roguelike and you just die and start over again. But also the difference is you don't get like lives in the sequel, or like whatever Heroes of Hammer Watch is. So like Hammer Watch, you can pick up lives, like continues, like Mario. You can go out there and find a life and be like, okay, I have 3 lives to make it through this dungeon. Whereas in like Heroes of Hammer Watch, like, no, you die, you just start back out at the main town and go back through. But you keep your level progression. So like if you hit level 2, you're still at level 2, so you have higher health, you have higher magic power and damage and stuff. I'm playing as a paladin, so that's pretty cool. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I do know, Matt, that you have access to Hammer Watch, and they did just release a patch that allows co-op, so I think we need to try it sometime.
Oh.
So and then so Heroes of Hammer Watch are out on Steam, Xbox, and Switch, and PS4 is launching soon. So I have a feeling it might be something with certification, maybe something taking a little bit longer for them to, maybe the trophies or whatever, getting that certified for it to come out, but I will definitely be picking up it again because it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
And we need to play it because, we need something else to play together.
Right.
But anyways, I think it's just going to be crazy, zany fun. And then a lot of Fall Guys. I played a lot of Fall Guys.
And you also had another interesting event.
Yeah, I got a crown in Fall Guys.
All hail the moose.
I was playing with Jason, our buddy TV, and then Ozzy Mandius. So we were all playing, and like we get to the final round, and the final round is so like the final round could be where like you're on a circular platform and there's two bars. There's a low bar, which is smaller, and then a bigger high bar that spins, and they spin at alternating speeds. And then there's one where the platforms actually drop away, which I think we were on. Wasn't that Jay?
Hexagon?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Hexagon.
And then there's another one where they don't. There's one where they don't drop away. And so
you have to jump over the lower bar as the top one spins in the other direction, but the platforms eventually fall to also knock people. I think they added it recently.
Oh, okay, because I've not seen that one.
Yeah. So anyways, so like I'm just running around. I'm just having a good time, and I like to wait till the last second till the bar is about to hit me to jump. And so I'm just like jumping, I made it to a platform. There was a platform on the other side. It was like me and another guy. Jason and TV are having heart attacks because like there must have been a delay. And so like they're like thinking I'm not gonna jump, but I jump in time, and I'm just like, and they're like, "You're jumping too close to the beam," and I'm like, "Let me do my thing." And so
every
like,
jump was like that kid that fails at the hurdles, and it just looked like he was hitting the top of the bar and stumbling. I'm like, "Oh God!"
Sometimes I did though, but it was cool because the larger bar was past me, so I went up and like over the little one and just landed right back on the platform. So anyways,
not gonna lie, I feel kind of called out with that hurdles comment.
But anyways, so I just watched the last guy on the other side just fall off the pit, and I was like, yeah. And so now I need to start playing it more because I need 10 crowns because it's 5 crowns for the upper half of the Enter the Gungeon bullet, and it's 5 crowns for the lower half of the Enter the Gungeon bullet, and I need the Enter the Gungeon costume in my life. If I could go out,
is that only around temporarily, or
I don't know, but it just dropped Saturday, and they're legendary, like they're legendary skins. Yeah. So I don't know how long it's out for. I have a feeling it'll probably disappear before I can even pick it up, which is like, just let me go pay for crowns, or let me go pay for currency to buy crowns, and then can you?
Or maybe you could just buy kudos.
I think you can buy kudos. You can't buy
kudos. You can't buy crowns. But anyways, so like there was a bunch of that. Played Fall Guys, like it. I really want them. My main complaint is like the motherfuckers that grab you and like throw you off. So like I feel like they need to implement a counter into the game. Now I also know the game is new and it's an indie developer. So
you want a parry system?
No, I don't need a parry system. I just want like if some guy's coming at me looking like he's gonna hug me, I just want to punch. And so whoever lands first wins.
Just these Fall Guys just slapping each other.
Because I got so mad.
No,
the bane of my goddamn existence in that fucking game is the seesaw, and I make it to
seesaw fucking sucks.
And there was a dude standing there, and I'm just like, oh, okay, so he's not gonna move. As soon as I get within like an inch of him, he beelines for me, grabs me, drags me back to the edge, and just throws me off. And I'm like, I was like, that's the best seesaw run I've ever fucking had. I almost put my controller through the wall. I was so mad. But anyways, and it would be nice to just be like, maybe I should do the dive. That's what I should do.
Just to dovetail on your Fall Guys talk, I was playing with Gideon.
Yeah.
And we
bless you.
We were playing, and it was just like he and I were playing Mod Nation again, except 8 years at a time. And we had the same shit happening to us, just people trying to block us at the finish line. Yeah. I think it was like the first round, I had started off absolute garbage. And I got to the point, I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to be spectating you for the rest of this. Well, I'm getting close to the finish line, and there's like one person left. I jump over the guy that's trying to grab me and dive across the finish line, and I'm qualified.
Nice.
So yeah, like I've had my issues with the grabbers too.
I'm sure they'll be able to implement it in a patch later, but some other problems is exiting the game if you don't want to watch anymore. Like you hit the button to exit the game, doesn't exit the game. And then my other issue is the four of us are in a team like running and gunning. If I get knocked out, why do I have to cycle L1 or R1 through everybody playing the game till I find my team? Like it should auto start on my team and they should be like the next in order as I cycle, you know what I mean, to be able to watch you guys. I don't even care if I have to cycle 10 people till I find the next teammate. Start me on a teammate, you know what I mean? Like, so that I can watch them and see what they're doing. But other than that, I think it's good. It's got a lot of cool game modes. I hate it, but it's just funny because like they'll show you the games that you're going to play, like a spinning, like, you know, like the Wheel of Fortune or whatever. And it'll just go and go and go, and then it'll stop. And then that's not what you're playing. It's like, I fucking hate you, but I do like you sometimes because what you show you stop on, I don't want to do, but I want to do what we're doing, you know? So, it's a good time. And then more Division 2 helped Marco wrap up his manhunt for this week. He's all caught up. I'm all caught up. We got the last manhunt guy coming out next week. So I'm excited. Oh, I got level 100 in season 2. So season 2's all wrapped up, which is nice. And now it's just, I don't know, grinding gear until the next manhunt. I really don't know what I want to do. I do need to platinum it. And I think I do want to go after the raid trophies. So I'm just going to do a pickup group and do the raids. See if I can.
Yeah, I need to do. That's the only trophy I have left in that.
Because I'd like to 100% the game. I play that thing so much, I just need to do it.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much what I've been playing. Yeah, that's it.
Fall Guys is like the feel-good story of the year.
Yeah.
They're really, their Twitters. Today they started a charity bidding war. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
I saw something that it was like, I don't remember what it was, but there was a Fall Guy with a shirt that said, "Ask me about my butthole." And they said something about this being in the lead for like $40,001.
Yeah. So they're donating to Special Effect. It's a UK-based charity that helps disabled. I don't know if it's disabled gamers or just people with disabilities. So Warframe, within like 5 minutes, offered 20 grand. Like basically whoever entered, their brand would be in the game. Mm-hmm. So Warframe jumps in, 20 grand, like within 5 minutes. Then Bisect Hosting, they host like Minecraft servers since like, I think 2012. They offered $38,000.
Jesus.
Then there was a bunch, and then the last bid as of now is Mr. Beast, the YouTube guy, 100 grand.
Whoa.
And also, Fall Guys, the Twitter.
Fall Guys Twitter's great. It's great.
The feud he started with Tim the Tatman is the greatest.
Oh, yeah.
So they like called him out. They're like, "How many crowns do you have now?" "Oh, none." "Do you want us to play the game and win, and then you could pretend to play and do a voiceover like you actually won?" And then they go, "We apologize. You are not the worst player. The robot we use for AFK testing is the worst."
I saw that when I was like, Jesus.
It's like, man, what is this unsolicited shit talking? Like it is kind of the best. It's the best. No, it's the best thing since Doom and Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
like,
I agree. I agree.
Like it was the best since seeing Isabel and Doom Guy in the Futurama thing where Isabel's like, "Tonight at 11," and then you see Doom Guy, Doom.
Yeah.
What else you playing, Jay? You turned in a review. I know that.
I did. My West of Dead review.
Nice.
And another one.
Well, no, I'm working on one. I'm working on Metamorphosis.
Okay.
This is the weirdest
for you literary nerds out there.
Is the game adaptation of Frank Kafka's Metamorphosis.
What we've all been asking for like 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, duh. It's weird. It's
of course it is.
By
the end of it, you're still gonna have questions.
Yeah. You play, for those unfamiliar, this salesman wakes up and he's a giant bug. So briefly, you're not really a giant bug necessarily. It's more of a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibe. You're like crawling through like cupboards and like dressers, and like there's like matchsticks that fall down that create ramps, and like there's a whole thing, and you have to kind of figure out what the hell is going on, and you have to reach this like tower. So we'll see where this goes. Yeah.
So you didn't choose the bug life. The bug life chose you.
Yep. I'm copyrighting that because, as Matt pointed out, in a few months, they're going to use that for bug snacks. So we said it here first.
Everybody's going to be using that for bug snacks.
Bug snacks it is. At least that's an original idea and not based off of this book that I hated reading in college.
Oh, you didn't like?
You read in college?
You didn't like Metamorphosis?
I had to read it for humanities, so I think it already had everything going against it.
Oh, yeah.
Take humanities.
I had to. My college, I had to take 2 years of it, and then every grade after me only had to take 1.
Oh.
One of my Joy-Cons broke, so I took a Joy-Con apart.
That's a game in and of itself.
Yeah.
That's like a Souls level 1 run naked, no hit.
No, from what I hear, those things are freaking. It's all tiny in there, and it's just disastrous.
I would just buy a new one.
It wasn't bad taking it. I haven't put it back together. It's kind of laying there because I'm afraid to, because I don't want to put it back together and then like it doesn't. And it's like, oh, I gotta take this damn thing apart. I took it apart. I cleaned it. It's the putting it back together. Luckily,
now was this for like a Joy-Con drift situation, or was it actually?
No, I don't think it's drift. I think my guess is what it's doing is like it's sticking. So like you push left slightly, and we're not drifting. Like it's just going left, and like you have to actually push back right. Like it's not like a slight thing. It's like it's stuck on, and it'll just move left, and you're like, no. Stop.
Nope, not what I wanted. Nope. Stop.
Luckily, I have the hoary left Joy-Con, so I'm fine in handheld. I can't play with Joy-Con.
So one hand and the other one is.
Yeah, I can't play unless I use I have the 8-bit do. I can use that.
Okay.
Which one do you have from them?
I have the Zelda one, the left Joy-Con. So
I love their stuff.
Hopefully I can get that. If I get it back together, I get it back together. If not, I'll probably just buy a Pro controller because Joy-Cons cost more.
I like the Pro controller a lot.
Yeah, the Pro controller is great. The only thing I don't like about it is the triggers, but otherwise that's a solid controller. I like the way it feels. I like the shape of it.
Got a nice weight.
Yep. Yeah. What else?
It is a great controller, but that 8-bit do, man.
Yeah. I have the 8-bit do, like the SNES one.
It's not do, it's do. It's not DOE. It's DO. Do.
I said that.
You said do.
I did not. We'll play it back later, but I have
the note is do, and it's only pronounced D-O, or it's only spelled D-O, so do.
Do, a deer.
I know, I was waiting for somebody to go do, re, mi.
Whatever.
But yeah, I have the SNES one, and then I also have like the SNES one that they built up, but it's also got the handles on it, so it's almost like a PS4 controller.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
I
have both as well. I have the SNES one and the one that's like a PlayStation controller, like whatever one you want to go with. But they are.
Do they call it the 8-bit DualShock?
No.
Damn. I tried.
SN 30 Plus Pro.
People leave.
Jason liked that one. He must have.
Well, whiskey.
I played. All right.
I told you. I warned you. It's like I have to drink when I come up on the show. But anyways,
played Fall Guys,
and he's one of my best friends, Michaela. So anyway, so West of Dead review, Fall Guys, Kafka. Continue.
I played a little Remnant in preparation for the DLC.
Yeah.
I did some survival mode. I didn't get that far because it's not easy, but
It's not.
no. Little Borderlands. I tried the Olija demo. Olija?
Yeah.
Olija? I don't know how we're gonna pronounce. It's the one that was supposed to be released today. And
Yeah,
then stuck at the show.
it's Aaliyah.
Grappling.
That's how they pronounced it at the Devolver thing.
It's like the grappling.
Yeah.
Moose, if you saw it, you'd know what it was.
I
It was.
probably would.
It was. Did you watch the Devolver Direct?
Yeah.
It was in there.
Okay.
It was the one that was supposed to
Did
be
you-
released that day, and then they
Oh,
messed up.
yes. Okay, my apologies. Yes. I know which one you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I played that. That's
Was that on PC?
Yeah. So you throw a spear, and you don't grapple. You get pulled towards it.
Okay.
So like you could spear an enemy, dash to them, and then attack them. There's like grapple points you could spear to. It's interesting. It's a little too pixely for me. I mean, I like the pixel art, but it almost felt like
more detail.
it felt like what is it, Nidog? Did I say that right? The Nidog? The
Nidhogg.
Yeah, that one. It looked
Okay.
like that, and I don't know if I could.
Which that looks like fucking Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Well, Nidhogg 1 or 2?
One.
Oh, okay. Because 1 looks very like Atari.
Yeah,
that's true. That is a true state. Yeah.
I played the Avengers beta.
I was gonna bring that up. I was like, didn't you play?
I did play
beta?
it.
Okay.
I did play the Avengers beta. I played the Tony Hawk demo. That was awesome. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Couple of
Note
streamers.
to the listeners, skipped right over the Avengers demo because it's trash.
Is
Have
it
you
bad?
ever heard people are like, it's fun even though it's trash, or it's just trash?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get extremely bored really quick with it.
Yeah.
Nothing again. It's done well. It looks nice, but I want to play who I want to play, like Marvel Heroes Omega. I want to choose a character. I don't want the story to tell me. I know
So
that's-
it's mission based who you play?
From what I
From the
played, it
beta.
was, and
Yeah.
I didn't like playing as the Hulk. I mean, it's fun for a while, but all you're doing is just trashing everything. Like, I'd rather play as Iron Man, like flying around. Although a lot of people who've gotten further played Iron Man plays like a javelin from Anthem.
Okay.
Apparently identical to a javelin in Anthem.
Which that means it'll
They
be fun
fly
to fly.
pretty damn well.
It'll be fun to fly around and nothing else.
Yeah. That's pretty much the only thing that Anthem nailed.
I mean, I put 30 hours into Anthem. I rolled credits on that game. The flying was good. The rest of it,
I played the Tony Hawk demo for about 7 hours. Mind you, you're only allowed to play Warehouse on 2-minute sessions. So I played a lot of sessions of Warehouse.
I mean, that sounds like me
That's
when I was a
fucking
kid
psycho.
playing the game.
I am so excited. If the rest of the game is like the Warehouse, it looks cool, it plays well, it controls like Tony Hawk 2. It includes everything
Right.
that 2
Right.
has in 1. There's challenges. There's other.
So can you do manuals and in 1 now? Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome.
You could do the revert in 1. You could
Sweet.
manual. You could do the tricks off the manual. Like the different, as you're manualing, you could do different tricks, which was added in 2, I believe. That's going to be phenomenal. I don't know if it's game of the year, but it's just going to be a really well done game. And I played Hellraid for Dying Light, the Dying Light
okay.
DLC that was stealth dropped last week, which is, if you don't know, this was a game Techland was working on as a separate game altogether, but they didn't finish for whatever reason, and now it's a Dying Light DLC, and it's in the game as this arcade machine randomly appears in the hideout, and it's like haunted, and you get like teleported in.
Nice.
So Dying Light becomes Control for a brief moment.
It's interesting. The thing is, it's not Dying Light. It's
Okay.
It's.
The different.
I was expecting like more Dying Light, but in a different setting. Like it's not. It feels like. Remember the beginning of Skyrim after you escape the beheading and you're just going through the caves and you have that just melee combat? That's what this is. There's not as much parkour. You only have 3 lives. You die, you go back. You can unlock stuff, but it's just, I don't know. I think I hyped it up too much when I first saw the trailer. It's not Dying Light though. It's just a game. It's like a mini game almost.
What's the price tag on that DLC?
10. I'd say
10.
5 would be worth it.
That's not bad. Even for $10, it's not bad.
It's just totally different than the whole, like, Dying Light, you were running from everything. Like, you really weren't going head on. This, like
directly attacking stuff.
Yeah, this is like there's plenty of, like, medieval weapons because it's like a medieval setting. And there's the whole durability, you can upgrade them, but I don't know, it just didn't feel. I'll give it another try, but I think I went in, more Dying Light. It's not more Dying Light. It's just another game in Dying Light. So.
Yet still just the unparalleled support they've shown for that game.
Oh my God, this rivals Warframe.
There's
with the amount of updates they've had.
Well, I mean, Warframe's an MMO, so that's a different kettle of fish. But like, also, they've probably put another full game's worth of content since that game came out. So
I hear the following is pretty large.
Well, and then on top of the following, even because like they had done things prior to that.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jay?
Nope. That is all.
Okay, so I started Game Club Game, and still doing the Monster Hunter thing. In that particular arena, I got to the first I don't want to say I don't want to say I think it's like the first real story break in it where all of a sudden all the things you've done sort of coalesce into one mission. So we are tracking down this elder dragon called Zora Magdros, I think is the name.
Yep.
And basically you are manning a wall and you're firing giant cannons into this mountain-sized dragon to try and stop it. Spoiler alert, you don't stop it. But then somehow mountain-sized dragon just vanishes. So you have to try and find this giant walking mountain that broke through your wall and then is just gone. As I said in our Facebook chat, it reminded me of Bricktop and Snatch. Well, where did you lose him? It's not exactly like he's a set of car keys.
Inconspicuous.
Yeah, he's definitely not inconspicuous. That's for sure. But it leads to this really cool looking area that almost looks like an underwater environment, but you're not underwater. I think it's called the Coral Highlands, and the more I play this game, the more I sort of wish I would have played more when it was out, because this is actually becoming one of my favorite little loops. And I feel like anybody that had told me I would like Monster Hunter prior to, because I like Dark Souls so much, I am starting to really grasp that, because there's not much forget the mountain-sized dragon for a second, but like just the regular hunts where you're fighting things that are probably at their smallest like 1.5 to 2 times your size, to things that are like 5 to 10 times your size. Like it's just like fighting the Hellkite dragon in Dark Souls 1 or Calamite or any of the Dark Souls 2 dragons. But the fights are so fucking dynamic. And For example, while you're in the fight with this giant mountain-sized dragon, another angry motherfucking dragon shows up while you're on top of it and decides he's gonna ruin your day.
He's like, "Hey, stop picking on my buddy."
Oh, dude. Well, and then you find out lore-wise, apparently that dragon only spawns when elder dragons show up. So you're just like, great. So now I just got another thing I got to add to the fucking list. But Monster Hunter as a list is surprisingly fun to do. I highly recommend it. I had a pretty dramatic end to a hunt this week. I was going after, I think that you pronounce it Legiana. It's a flying dragon that does frost damage. And the thing about the hunts is you have a set amount of time to actually do it in. If you don't do it, you fail. I think this one is 50 minutes. So I get the alert for 10 minutes and I still have not found this guy. So I'm frantically trying to find tracks or markings from this dragon so I can find out where it is. I think about 3 minutes after the 10-minute alarm, I find it. And I basically do whatever I can to just try and inflict as much damage on this thing as possible, just so I have a shadow's chance in hell of taking it down before the timer. I think I got it in with about 45 seconds left. Like it was really fucking close. But I've been playing with the insect glaive and I'm really starting to find my rhythm with that, I still go back to the training area and try different weapons. The twin blades looks like a fun idea. I've heard the charge. I think it's charge. I don't know if it's charge. I think it's charged blade as well. I think that's probably the most common. Hammer is really fun. But still, there's nothing quite like mounting a giant dragon and doing somersaults up and down its back while you have your dual-bladed bow staff just slicing through it. Game is really, really fun. Earlier today, I decided to stream some Spelunky. I still suck at that game. And the funny thing is, I did not bring my old save from Spelunky, so I didn't have any of my characters unlocked that I had previously. So I'm going through it, just getting journal entry after journal entry after journal entry. I think Jason popped into my stream, and I'm like, yeah, I have to do the tutorial, and I haven't done this in like 6 years now. But that game is still good. I'm super excited for Spelunky 2. I checked out the most recent episode of the Spelunky show, and they had Derek Yu and Eric Schurk. Derek Yu's the main designer of Spelunky and Spelunky 2, and Eric Schurk is the guy who did the soundtrack for Spelunky nice. 1. And I think he did a lot of the sound design for 2 as well. In fact, I'm almost positive, because otherwise why would they have him? And they were talking about the differences. They don't really go into spoilers, but everything that they said just made me just more excited for this game. And
game of the year,
probably, probably like that earlier thing I tagged y'all in on Twitter, where you named your top 5 games. Like Spelunky and is tied with Binding of Isaac for 3. So chances are Spelunky 2 could overtake that before long. Lastly, as I said before, Reba and I decided to get up early at 7 p.m. on Sunday, and we went back to Guacamelee, and I want to just applaud my wife, because I started getting tired before she did, and that never happens.
And pick Matt up and put him on her shoulders and carry the fucking team. And I bet she did.
Actually, no, because I still have to figure out the platforming segments of Guacamelee before she can, just because she's she hasn't played as many platformers as I have. Like the dexterity's not there.
Right. The
mechanics-
muscle memory is not
the
there.
mechanics and the instinct of it, So we're getting through this. We got through. I think we're almost to the end of it, which is still fucking crazy for me. I can't believe how much of this game we've done in such a short time. I remember it being not very long, but like
You're playing one or two?
One. She's gotten really fucking good at it.
Where are you?
We just got done with the Temple of War.
Yeah, I think you're.
We have like one more thing before I think we're headed towards the final boss at this point.
There's one platforming section that I still haven't. It's the last orb I need, and every time I try it, I'm afraid I'm going to break my Vita in half because I'm not there on PlayStation 3, and it's only on the Vita, and the cross saves won't work. And
yeah, it doesn't. I don't think.
And I can't. And I'm afraid I'm going to break the Vita because it's so frustrating. It's the one with the saw blades, and you have to just keep going up.
Yeah. Oh. We haven't got there yet, but I remember that section from
that
when
is
I platinumed
the
it.
Worst. It's my last.
Sucks on Vita.
It's my last orb too, because if I get that and beat the boss, I get there's a trophy for beating him with all 5,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't remember what the changes from the original Guacamelee to the trophies for the Super Turbo Championship Edition are. I haven't really gone looking. I mean, I'm probably going to go back for the Platinum anyway. I know that she's not super interested in that with this particular game. But the fact that I'm like, okay, so I know you're probably – I looked at her and I go, I know you're probably about ready to stop. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, what? Because I kind of have like this internal clock when I know that she's probably going to stop. Because usually about an hour and a half, she's like, yeah, I've had enough. But no, we played from about 8:30 to about 11:30, and
Nice.
it was so much fun. And like Moose said, like I was looking at my phone. I didn't have any streamers on, but I'm like, oh look, this person's playing this. She's like, do you want to go play with them? I go, you're playing video games with me? No. Everything else stops when like I don't care if Moose and I are about to pop a fucking platinum. Like you say you want to play a game, we're playing. And
that platinum will be there tomorrow.
Exactly. But yeah, so Guacamelee is still fucking good. And yeah, I mean, still playing more good Sudoku, but we can talk about that. Anybody else have anything for games?
Who's getting Mortal Shell tomorrow?
I knew you were going to ask that. I was waiting for it.
Reviews seem to be coming out and they're looking pretty good.
I watched HCG's earlier.
I didn't watch his review yet.
He said he had a lot of fun.
Yeah, he said it was a buy. And I mean, it's a $30 game.
Wait, is it a remnant situation where it's only like it's like less than full price?
Awesome.
Yeah,
$30.
And
$30.
Wait, $29.99?
Yeah, it's $29.99.
Yes.
Jesus Here's Toast was playing it tonight.
Yeah, but I hear he was not having a good time.
Yeah, he didn't have his rhythm there. Yeah. I think he's just got to get more into it.
I like the mechanics, but it's not that different from an old school Souls game. Yeah, and I like that it owns that identity, but I like the small mechanics that it adds based on what I've watched people playing it. My thing is they announced a physical, and I have trouble resisting a physical, so I might wait till October.
There you go.
Yeah. So just ancillary gaming related, I started watching Summer Games Done Quick. And they opened with a 50-ish minute run of Demon Souls. And all it did was make me want Demon Souls the Demon Souls remake. I'm so excited for that game.
Is that 2021? Do we know that for sure?
We don't know anything about it.
Everything. Well, all we know about the actual game is speculation, but they have said fall 2020 or the holiday 2020.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
they said
I
that in
could've swore they
in the
did.
PS5.
So it might be a launch title.
Might be. I just
Or window.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Because speaking of next gen, apparently Halo got fucking delayed,
Oh, dude, that looks so.
which is like, okay, you know, I know we have Moose who is a Sony fanboy, and that's fine. But I mean, you're
Out of the
the
four of
but
us.
I've
Out of the
played-
four of us.
you're the
I've played
Sonyest.
Halo.
You're the Sonyest fanboy here.
You-
But like,
yeah.
let's just examine what the fuck they delayed Halo.
No, I will say it sucks for the launch, but
It
it's
does.
better for the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Because if that game bombed, we're not talking about a No Man's Sky situation. We're talking
No.
about an Anthem. I don't think it could ever recover from a bomb.
Yeah, they'd have a hard time bringing that series back. Like, it's almost like as devastating as Andromeda was to Mass Effect, which they could totally rectify the situation if they just fucking remastered the original trilogy and then said, here's the original trilogy remastered. Let's go with a new game after that.
Yeah.
They could totally smooth things over with the fans, but they won't do it because EA are fucking idiots. But anyway,
Well-
EA.
Well, I mean, you know, and seeing games are an iterative art form anyway. So a lot of it, I mean, like, let's be honest, they could come up with Mass Effect, fucking name another nebula somewhere, and all of a sudden,
yeah,
they're back at it again. And
right.
you know, all you have to do is make a decent one of whatever it is, and generally people come back. You know, it's
Or you get new people.
yeah, or I mean,
think-
it's always the if you build it, people will come. It's usually how it works.
I just
But-
think the problem with that series is that BioWare's like so much of a shell of their former self.
Yeah, it's the
That-
name. That's it.
Yeah, all it is the name anymore. Like I don't think they haven't. I mean, in Dragon Age 4 is coming out soon, which I always thought was the B movie to the A movie that is, you know, Mass Effect. So I was
Mhm.
never interested, but like talking about the Halo delay, when I saw that thing, like I was like, that looks bad. Like it didn't even look
Yeah.
like top tier this gen. Like it looked like early this gen. And
Especially
I
if
was
you're
like,
gonna market your box as
Right.
like the strongest console, better
yeah,
than
this
the
looks like
competitors.
fucking trash.
Your number
Mhm.
one IP has to
Yeah.
look like it sells that marketing message.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
agree.
because normally I'm not a graphics snob, but if that is your go-to-market strategy,
Yeah,
your game has to deliver.
Right.
I agree.
Well,
I mean,
and-
like everything on Sony looked way better than it at the, and that's not like I like Halo, and anybody
Well,
that wants to
I'll
yell
just
at
step
me,
in before Michaela does everything except bug snacks.
yeah. But no, what I was trying to say was like people might, you know, be like, oh well, he fucking hasn't played Halo. I played 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Reach. So you can kiss my fucking ass. I can shit on Halo all I want. All right. It like 5 was absolute trash, and this one does not look. It did not look any better. I was like, okay, so more of exactly the same. Gears, more of exactly the same.
Well,
Yeah.
Like,
what I
Just-
found interesting was Halo's first party. And when I say first party, it's as first party as you get. Halo
Yeah.
is Xbox. Xbox is
Mhm.
Halo.
Yeah.
This is not like the Hellblade developers, Ninja Theory, going, oh, we're delayed. It's like, okay, like you would
Yeah.
think something like Halo being delayed, it's almost like Microsoft was blindsided, which is so bizarre though, because it's like, how could you guys not, like, why would you market it for the reveal? Like, it just seems so weird. Like, how could, I know obviously stuff happens, but it's like, how could you not know that? Like, it's not like, oh, hey, like call up Ninja Theory. How's Hellblade going? Oh, we're going to delay a few months. Okay.
I
I
mean,
kind of wonder if the fan reaction though had something to do with it. Because why
Oh,
would you
definitely.
show gameplay and then delay without that fan reaction? So
Right.
were they ready to launch the game incomplete or subpar?
they would have. They wouldn't have cared.
well, okay, so there's a lot to actually consider here. it's easy for us to go, Halo got delayed, what the fuck? But like examining what they showed, let's say, for example, the gameplay is something different. It's not something, because gameplay you can't always convey in a trailer.
Yeah.
So if there's something new to the gameplay, you're not always going to see it until you get your hands on it.
Right.
Now,
That's true.
graphics snobbery is always going to lead to a fan reaction like that. And then people are going to be like, well, that just doesn't look up to par. You know, let's pile on. And like what Michaela said, like there are two things you need for a console launch or to advertise a console. You need a good looking racing game, and you need one title that is going to be strong.
Yeah.
And real quick on the graphics thing, not even because I know as little about graphics. I'm not Captain Canada. Like,
right, same.
It just looked bad. Like, there's a difference between it looks good. Like, not like we're not talking Digital Foundry. Like, examine the specs, like ray tracing.
Right.
Like, it just looked like not even this gen. It almost looked like tail end of last year. It was like, oh, really? Like at that, it's bizarre that anyone thought, oh, it's ready.
Yeah.
To show. It's ready to show too.
I do want to point out that Halo 4 came out in 2012 and Halo 5 came out in 2015. So that was a 3-year gap. They're on a 5-year gap now. So something makes me think that they reset it somewhere along that. They had to like reset stuff, you know, along the timeline of it being in development.
Or they wanted to push it they didn't want to
more things.
They didn't want to leave it for the end of this gen and figure they could push
be
it for
too. Could be it too. But I mean, with things going backwards compatible, I don't even think that would be an issue, because they could have just been like, it's the last game. You know, they could have released it last year and then been like, oh, if you buy the new Xbox, you get, you know, 60 frames per
Smart
second.
delivery.
Right? Yeah,
Smart
you get
delivery.
like you get something really
still,
nice.
Having Halo Infinite as your launch title makes so much sense at Xbox.
Now,
I mean, it's almost, it makes as much sense as Nintendo launching the Switch with Breath of the Wild.
Exactly.
That's how associated Halo is.
Yeah,
I mean,
Halo's more of a launch than I would say than anything Sony real. You can make an argument for multiple titles for Sony, but Halo is to Xbox like Zelda or Mario would be to a Nintendo console.
Exactly.
Or God of War to Sony. And now, you know,
you could
Horizon.
argue God of War. Or
so, like, I mean, you look at
Sony.
And like they have more titles that I wanted on there than Xbox does. But like Xbox, it's like I know a lot of people that just buy that console for Gears and Halo, and it's like, well, now you just lost how many console sales because your flagship is like gone. Like they could come out, you know, Sony could have came out and said, hey, we got God of War 2, you know, or 5 technically. Spoiler alerts for the stories. It's been a while. But anyways, they could be like, God of War 5. Oh, wait, now we're going to delay it. I'm still going to buy a Sony console because of Ratchet and Clank and the potential of the Horizon game. And then I can't remember the game's name off the top of my head, but the one by Arcane Studios for
Deathloop.
Deathloop. That looks okay. I was not sold on the first trailer. Well, I kind of was. I was like, this kind of looks good. But this last trailer, I'm like, holy shit, yes. Like, yes, I'm in on this. So they just have a lot of good things in their camp, I think. And Microsoft is just, I don't know. But this is going to be a blow to their sales. They're not going to sell as many consoles as they would have if.
Especially since their strategy is built around sustaining all hardware and not just promoting the new one. Like Games Pass, you don't need to buy an Xbox Series X to get Game Pass unless you are a huge graphics snob. And how many of those games, especially if you're getting older games from Games Pass, are going to be optimized for the new stuff anyways?
But then again, if you're a huge graphics snob, chances are you're getting a PC.
Yeah, unless you do PC and a console for the exclusives or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you were willing to wait for a Halo or you really, really care about having the shiniest car in Forza, but for some reason you can't play it on PC.
Right.
I was going to say, back to Jason's point about maybe they were trying to delay it past the end of this console into the next one. What if it was a decision to be like, we're going to go from it being a game installation, like here is Halo Infinite, to an actual platform where it is kind of like maybe the Division 2 where they just do DLC and like seasons and all kind of that stuff. And like, oh, 5 years from now, I'm still playing Infinite, or Halo Infinite, and I'm on like the 5th season pass for like $40 or something like that. You know what I mean?
But that's
And
the
you
thing. Sorry to cut you off. I don't think Games as a Service works with the Game Pass. Games as a Service works for like Destiny because you have to pay for Forsaken, you pay for the next thing. If you have Game Pass and say Halo follows that system, you're not making any more money because.
Good point too. It's a very good point.
Because it's like, okay, I'm going to play it. Why would, like, if I know that, I'm playing Halo on Game Pass. New one comes out, I'm playing it on Game Pass. I don't have to worry about.
Hang on. I also think that that's a problem that'll be figured out by people well above our pay grade.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bean counters. I mean, also, like, look at all their first party games are coming out on Game Pass. There's no point to buying those games.
Yeah, I don't know how they make money, basically.
I mean,
you know how they make money? They make Windows.
Yeah,
That's how they make money.
But I mean, Xbox, the brand itself. I was talking about that before the show.
I know what you meant. I was just saying, like, that's how Microsoft.
Microsoft doesn't need Xbox to make money, essentially.
Right, exactly.
But it's been treated that way forever too.
Yeah.
That's why it's such an afterthought. They're like, we don't need this. We're Microsoft. We have billions of dollars to wipe our butts with. Like, you don't need to make money. But they, ever since with like Phil Spencer and for the past 3 years, buying those extra, devs to become first parties and stuff like that, like with Ninja Theories and whatnot, they seem to want to compete against Sony in Sony's thing, like the go-to-market strategy of having system selling software.
Yeah.
But if you have Game Pass, that I don't know how it doesn't seem as compatible with that kind of strategy, because you can usually get Game Pass for what, a couple dollars if you pick it up on sale. How do you make money off your first parties then? Yeah,
obviously we don't know. I don't know the cost. Like, what does Devolver get from? Like, I played Carry On Game Pass. What does Devolver get out of that? Like, what's the like? What is it?
Also,
like,
do we know if Halo's going to be MTX? Do we know?
Microtransactions?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think they came out and said anything about it, but
that also adds to the rest of this, because I know, like, a lot of people say, Microsoft now has a box coming with no games.
Well, I mean, they could also be like, they could have microtransactions, and the deal is you get it on Game Pass and it stays on Game Pass until it's like dirt cheap, and then they take it off and then you can buy it. But you can buy all these skins and bullshit for like the multiplayer and all that stuff that you want,
Yeah, but like, getting back to the fact that, Microsoft is launching with only, as of right now, only a backwards compatibility system. Like, that's weird.
I would feel like the Forza game would launch.
Yeah, the Forza game. And do we have a release date on Hellblade? Although Hellblade's not going to pull as big as an audience as a Forza or a Halo. Not that it's not a good game. The first game was freaking phenomenal. That game deserves every accolade in the world. But in terms of a mainstream console buying audience,
no,
it's not going to do it.
They're only looking at Gears or when you look at an Xbox console, they're only looking at Gears or Halo.
I mean,
the mainstream.
A new game could help sell the console if it was really like. That's the thing. Xbox needs new IP, and they need new IP that's different, because that's the thing about Xbox, and the reason why I've never felt compelled to buy an Xbox, because the only franchise I care about is Ori, and I don't need an Xbox to play Ori.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of their games have there's five items that show up in an Xbox exclusive, because it's PC as well.
Right.
Guns, space, cars, horror, and I forget what the fifth one was, but I had this whole list, and it essentially just comes down to grit.
Fable.
Fable. Fable could do it, but Fable's not going to be ready for a long time, I don't think.
Fuck no.
No, it's gonna be like 3 years past
No.
launch, I think.
They are like,
If
they
that.
felt like they could have started that game years ago and then didn't.
And now they're like, oh shit, people want Fable, and then they threw together a trailer which basically showed jack shit. It was just like, hey, Fable's coming.
They
That's it.
showed,
And it's
hey,
like,
we know what Fable is.
Yep.
It's like,
But-
okay, why are you showing me this?
Yeah.
Like,
So the
I rem-
contrast
mm.
between the Xbox library, your Gears, your Forzas, your Halos, whatever, versus
Masculinity, action
versus
movies.
versus
Yeah.
a Sony library is their exclusive IPs appeal to a lot of different audiences. Like the same player that plays Uncharted might not play Death Stranding, might not play Days Gone, might not play Horizon, might not play Spider-Man. But some, like everybody in that ecosystem is going to pick up one of those or two of those or three of those. That Ghost might sell it for somebody.
Mhm.
Neo, they have smaller first party, not first party, but like second party games like your Neos and your Personas and whatnot that like publish solely on that platform.
Persona 5 was on Xbox, wasn't it?
No.
No? Okay, never mind. I'm just asking.
Nope. Atlas has been weird about publishing. They have only published except
Catherine was
for
on
Catherine.
Yeah, it was on Xbox. Yeah.
Was
You know
yeah,
why they
was,
don't?
Yeah.
Because no fucking Xboxes sell in Asia. So they're
No.
like, why am I going to put my game on a console?
Yeah.
that
If
maybe
you like
10
Japanese games, PS4 is where
Just-
it's at, and Nintendo's where it's at.
Although like they have the, what is it, the Phantasy Star online 2
Yes.
or
Which is
whatever.
like, what?
Which I heard is good.
Oh, yeah. Well, Phantasy Star Online 2 is like, it was the first MMO situation I was ever fucking fascinated about, but I could never play it. Yeah, it's like 8 years old. It was
Yeah, it's
originally released
old. It's been
originally
around.
released in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I get the whole. Phil Spencer said like their concern's not
He's
sales of
right.
hardware. I understand that because they have Game Pass, but like Michaela said, you can't not sell any. Like,
Yeah.
you understand you're probably not going to sell as many, but Game Pass will close some of the gap. But if you don't have any launch titles and you don't sell any consoles, you're not making it up with like me paying $5 a month versus people buying your console.
Right.
Like I have to pay. Like how many years of Game Pass do I have to pay for before I even total the console cost?
True.
Especially if the rumor today is true, $600.
Mm-hmm.
10. That's
Well,
10 years.
I mean,
That's 10 years.
So, okay. So hang on before
10. It's 10.
So I do want to say a couple things. First, completely off topic. When Moose said the Xboxes don't sell in Asia, I just thought of that scene in Princess Bride. You've committed one of the classic blunders. Never try and sell an Xbox in Asia.
Right. Right. Like they just
but let me keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. I do find it fascinating that I don't know if it was the same day or like a day later, Microsoft was out there confirming November 2020 is when this box is coming out. So as of right now, we don't know a launch lineup for either console. Like the one thing we did know, there are two things we know. One, Godfall was the first announced next gen game, and it looks bad. Two, Halo Infinite was a launch Xbox Series X. And that's really it. Now, I know Alana Pierce said today that like Xbox is $599, so now everyone's going to speculate super wildly about next gen console prices. You know, we were doing it in our Facebook chat earlier. But it's, what day is it? It is August 17th. And we still don't know we still don't have a pre-order. We still don't have a launch lineup. So despite the fact that both Sony and Microsoft are going down to the fucking wire with details, like we can definitely ask a lot of questions and we definitely make a lot of statements, but I feel like outright dismissal is very difficult with the amount of information we have. Does that seem reasonable here?
It's almost offensive is not the right word towards the consumer, but like when Apple does their keynote, usually in like March or April, the iPhone launches in September. Google does similar with Pixel, but that's like 6-7 months go. Like 3 months seems, and even if
less than at this point, gonna be less than. And
even if so, the one theory I heard is it's 600 because the Lockhart's 400. It's a different system altogether. Even at 400, why are you buying Lockhart if you say you have a 1X? Because you're not. There's nothing to get, unless there is something to get, but we don't know on either end, on either platform, what there is to get. Because I mean, all Sony's done is we can speculate there's like 8 titles coming out because they all say holiday 2020. We have no idea what holiday 2020 means.
Right.
But you could speculate they're all going to be launch titles, which would be insanity, but
bonkers.
I can see them doing it though.
I mean, I could see
They'll have like the smaller games too, like your Kina's in there and whatnot.
Well, if you think about it, all the games they showed that said holiday 2020, none are similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes back to my point earlier.
Like, I'm not getting Demon Souls, but I definitely would get Ratchet. They're
fucking
totally different games. Kina is a completely different game from both of those. Like, all those games, I mean, and throw in Gran Turismo, because you need a racing game.
Which Gran Turismo isn't coming in. They like don't even have a date on that. They've like just started that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Which that'll probably be
developing it.
I feel like Polyphony's constantly developing Gran Turismo. And they just change numbers.
Like Polyphony, GT5 came out closer to the end of the PS3 life cycle than the beginning. And then I'm talking about the PS3. GT Sport came out on PS4. And then I don't think they call it like they didn't call it 6, did they?
There was one in between. Then it was 6. There was prologue or something.
6 didn't come out. Did 6 come out? Okay.
Or something came out that was.
I know there's exactly.
Something.
But like I remember when PS3 was announced, like they announced, Gran Turismo will come out with it, and then like for a long time on podcasts put out by major gaming outlets, they were like, Gran Turismo 5 ain't coming out, and then it eventually did, and whatever. But I do like the idea of Lockhart being 400. Because that would be like that kind of entry would definitely cause me to look across the way, specifically because of Game Pass.
Yep.
Oh, Gran Turismo 5 was 2010.
Yeah. My thing is, if you already have an X1, there's probably no reason to buy a Lockhart. Correct?
Exactly.
So then why not just get an older X1 that's probably cheaper than a Lockhart?
Exactly. Play them new games. I can play them new games when they finally start coming out. I'll finally be able to play Infinite when it releases after it's delayed.
Can't you play that on an X1?
Probably. I don't know. I don't have an
Xbox
One.
No, they're going all the way back. They're going all the way back to the very first Xbox. You'll be able to play Infinite on that Xbox.
So, wait.
No. You mean less.
The backwards compatibility is going all the way back.
Right, but you can't play Halo Infinite.
Yeah, but I think their early gen games are cross-gen actually.
Yeah, but you need an Xbox One to play.
That's anything. What I said. An Xbox One.
You said when you said all the way back.
I said all the way back to Xbox One.
Oh,
see,
there's like fucking 4 different generations.
Because Microsoft's naming conventions are bad. When you say all the way back to Xbox One, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'll be able to
Xbox, like the regular Xbox
with the Duke.
No, because there was Xbox Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox One X,
Xbox Series X Duke. Please make it happen.
It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing, asshole?
Yeah,
your naming convention is trash.
Even as PlayStation fans here, I mean, even Xbox fans would admit, like, how do you go from 360 Xbox to 360 to the One to the One? Like,
And then these are the same people that are going, oh, look at that PS5 logo. It's like bad Photoshop.
Did you imagine? Could you imagine uninformed parents going into like Best Buy? Can I get the new Xbox? Do you want the Series 1S, X, or an Xbox One X? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly.
So many disappointed kids at Christmas.
The day I bought my Wii U, I stepped, like, I was at a GameStop, and the GameStop employee was very frustrated trying to explain the difference between Nintendo Wii and a Wii U to a mother of 3 who had 2 of her 3 children with her. And
that's brutal.
And I actually said, GameStop employee, you look frustrated. Can I help you? And he looked at me. He's like, fuck do you want? I go, ma'am, a Wii U is not the same as a Wii. You won't be able to play those games on this system. Is that your question? And she's like, yes. I said, okay. Do you want a Wii or do you want this system that you won't be able to play those games on? Well, I want the one I can play these games on. I go, get this woman a Wii. Got a Wii, sold it on the way, and he gave me a high five and a thank you. And then I walked out with a Wii U and a zombie U, which was fine. Which was fine. Wii U's heavily underrated. Anyway, so speaking of, well, we mentioned it a while back. You mentioned Apple keynotes. There's a billionaire dick waving competition between Apple and Epic right now that has escalated to legal proceedings.
I do have to say, as much as I hate Apple, technically Epic started this pissing match.
Oh, definitely.
Well, they started it because Apple takes like 30% of the proceeds on their sales. And so Epic was like, you know, we can't give like true savings to the customer because you're taking such a massive amount, you know. And so they were like, it was kind of like an FU to them. And so I'm fine with Epic doing that. I mean, who the fuck is playing Fortnite on a Mac anyways?
Well,
like, that's like probably like
all that aside,
0.005% of their player base.
all that aside, it's like Epic kind of Charlie Murphy'd themselves into this. They were being a line stepper, and they're like, we're just going to see how close we can get before pissing them off.
I think the big thing people don't realize, because basically Apple said you can't use Epic, Unreal, anything. Unreal's used for tons of apps that are not games, and people don't realize, like, that's, like, in a way, Apple's shooting themselves in the foot because there's going to be stuff you can't run on a Mac anymore.
Yeah.
Then apparently, since we started, right before we started, Google removed Fortnite from the store.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be a weird royal fucking rumble.
Unless my guess is Google's like, you know what? You two figure out your shit, then come back to us.
Yeah.
Like Google just removed it. There's no threat of you can't use this, but also Google's not running. There's no OS in place for Unreal to be like, nope, can't run that.
Exactly.
But yeah,
so, like,
that's interesting how that's going to play out.
Like, what the hell is happening? I mean,
I think also Epic. Sorry, I think Epic also wanted people who played on PC or Mac to use their Epic account. Not just. I think it's a matter of, well, I don't have Apple Pay. Why can't I buy V-Bucks? But I have Epic money. I think that was also.
I got my Epic credit.
So
I think they also found a way around Apple's shitty system of getting currency in game
but it's
without
also
having to pay Apple for it. So I think that's Apple's reasoning for being douchebags.
But it's also like Apple, you let the app on your App Store. Did you not realize there was this in the game?
Well, chances are, I'll bet you this was like an update or something that Apple was not made privy to,
And they probably figured, no, Epic, Fortnite, huge seller, just let it go. Oh, we did that.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh wait, we got to be Vito Corleone here, and they got to give us tribute. But now all of a sudden, Epic doesn't want to do that. So that's where all this comes from. It's not. I don't care if anybody's sort of veiling themselves as trying to be consumer friendly. No, they're just trying to find ways to take money. That's what this is.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I'm actually sort of shocked at just how quickly everything is escalating.
Yeah.
Usually this takes weeks, maybe months, but I feel like, do we want to talk about the dumb fucking 1980 Fortnite bullshit? Did anybody watch that? Did anybody watch that stupid shit? Oh my god.
No.
I just heard it was dumb. I was like, okay.
Apparently,
Yeah, exactly.
Epic's building a monopoly case, and I guess Spotify jumped in to back Epic.
So now all that matters is where Jay-Z and Beyonce's title falls in. Wherever that lines up, that's probably the one that is the most pro-creator thing, because that's what they do.
Jeez.
And that's actually
isn't it kind of, it's funny though, Epic, like Apple takes 30%, and the whole thing, people were arguing that Epic was better than Steam because Steam took 30% and Epic didn't.
Yep.
This is nuts. I mean, Apple kind of, I'm not anti-Apple, but I always felt Apple was too much in their own ecosystem for their own good.
Oh,
but
yeah.
This is like, no matter who started this is, people are gonna, I think Epic's going to get more developers, companies on their side, because Apple's so like stringent with their like policies and everything to just get, hell, just to get the podcast approved on Apple took longer than 7 other podcast services I got approved for.
Yep. We were on Spotify first. Which is we were on Spotify before YouTube. At least that's the way it loaded for me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And any other thoughts on this before we move to the next one? I don't remember what the next one is. I'm just really excited for both Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. Anybody excited for anything?
Mortal Shell.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, obviously, like we had the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
PS5 announcement. When, I mean, yes, we know it's coming, but I mean, like, price point, launch titles, like dates. I want dates of games. I mean, you know, Horizon
That's got to be coming. They can't.
It has to be.
It's got to be like in the next, like it's got to be in September. You got to let people know, and then pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's insane. So I don't remember because I was in college when this happened last time, but 2013, did they announce price stuff at like E3?
They did that PlayStation event in like March. That was where they showed the controller, Bloodborne, and a couple other things. And then they talked about launch line. I think that's where they showed Resogun for the first time too. And then at E3, they talked about price and maybe pre-orders. I don't remember if pre-orders were at E3, but I know they talked about price, because that was where Don Matrick basically shat all over Microsoft's prospects and said, oh, you want backwards compatibility? Well, we think that's just backwards. So if you want to play old games, let me introduce you to the Xbox 360. And then it just left a nice little opportunity for someone to go, hey, Shuhei, hey, Adam Boys, how do you guys share games on PS4? And then Adam Boys hands Shuhei a game. And they're like this.
Well, I think this is the latest we've gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could
insane.
pre-order consoles like almost 6 months to a year before they come out, and like they're not even opening pre-orders on it.
Do you think it's the pandemic? Do you think the
it's probably
announced
supply and
earlier?
demand.
Like
they don't know how they're going to be able
we
to
know
supply
Sony
for
was
this.
going to skip E3 anyway, so we knew that wasn't going to be, but it could have been the time frame. You know what I mean? Even if it wasn't the E3 stage.
Well,
if we didn't have the pandemic, it would have been probably the same time that they showed the PS5, and then would have been like, here's the price point, pre-orders are open, launch titles are at this time, go.
Right, because they probably had no idea of production numbers or what to expect due to the pandemic and whatever delay it caused. I mean, they could be back on track, but still, I don't know.
Well, they're upping production numbers. That's the last thing we heard. Like they severely increased production.
They're gonna have
because they knew they were gonna sell out. Especially now, if Xbox isn't gonna be as competitive as we were anticipating with Halo.
In first, in launch time. Yeah.
We have. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, it stinks that we have
holiday season selling. I'm thinking Christmas.
That's
it
true.
Stinks that in this conversation we've not mentioned the pandemic till now, because I feel like that's probably the biggest reason for Halo being delayed. Because a lot of that, I mean, it's been said many times throughout the course of gaming news outlets that games don't come together until the very end. So trying to do everything prior to the very end stuff remotely is probably a fucking nightmare.
I can tell you, it's a fucking
games
nightmare.
aren't. Game development's not a essential service, even though we treat it like that sometimes. So you're not gonna get all these people to come into an office or to finish this because of the pandemic.
Yeah, so
but that's why I think we were all expecting, like, we would not have been surprised if both console launches themselves had been delayed. I don't think anybody would have been surprised.
Why not make it next year?
When Halo
milk a little bit more out of your games, you've got
they probably don't want to miss the holiday sales.
That's true.
And they're playing chicken. Like, if one did it, the other would have done it.
I'm pretty sure the way I heard about Halo being delayed was the most recent Bombcast, and during that they got someone in their chat said that Microsoft is confirming a November 2020 thing. In the short span of minutes that happened between Jeff Gerstmann going, Halo was delayed, what the fuck, to, Xbox still coming out November 2020. I was kind of hoping that, just delay the consoles. Everybody, you don't have any information. You're squeezing people with pre-orders. I mean, that's people that have been able to scrape enough scratch to purchase your box, because that is pandemic has kind of fucked up everybody's money this year. So, I mean, to the point where, like, I feel like it'll definitely impact console sales.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
And I feel like this next gen is not going to get off to the sales numbers flyer that prior generations have.
I think the core gaming audience is still going to be there.
Oh, definitely.
I think the at least well-to-do, so like upper middle class parents, grandparents buying kids stuff for Christmas, they're still gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the Americans that can work remotely from home who are still employed and are not affected.
So I think it's gonna shave, but I don't think it's gonna destroy numbers, especially for Sony.
Yeah.
That has a huge, so like Xbox One has sold 40 something K units this gen.
You mean 40 million?
Yeah, 40. Is it 40? No, what? How many Xboxes?
400
right?
million? Maybe, I don't know.
No, I'm not talking about revenue. I'm talking about boxes.
Let me look to the Googles.
I want to say it's like, it's something, it's 4 something. And then obviously we know
PS4 is second best of all time,
digits.
Right?
Yeah, second best of all time for them. Yeah. It's still Nintendo.
50 million.
50?
It's estimated 50 million.
Yeah, okay. So I was probably thinking of an older number. It was in the high 40s at some point, but if they cracked 50, good for them. But PS4 is more than double that. what it,
It's
they hit 108,
110. It's 110.4.
110, yeah. And is that sold through or shipped? It doesn't matter. It's a lot. It's more than double.
Yeah.
It says units sold.
Okay, so that,
I mean,
yeah.
also this is a wiki page. So
They actually keep that
but I
pretty-
think that's about right. Yeah, they
whenever
do keep
there's
it
a
pretty
news
accurate.
article, Wiki's not what it used to be. It's better than, for the most part, for the big important stuff.
Yeah.
It's
PlayStation's
pretty
like
regulated.
beating their freaking face in. Wow, they're only like 8 million away from Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Nintendo's handhelds are insane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And PS4's catching up to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So basically my point is there is a huge user base, and anyone who was all like, because not everybody buys a console at launch.
Sure.
Mhm.
I've never bought a console at launch until now, and I started saving 2.5 years ago for this, so I am going to buy a console at launch. Shut up.
It's excitement.
Yes, a lot of people. Well, I started saving shortly after I finished paying for my PS4. I bought a PS4 in March of 2017. I saved for that, bought it, and then started saving pretty much almost shortly thereafter for the next one.
Nice.
You're like, man, I don't have much time with this thing. We gotta start putting money away.
Every time I get quarters for laundry, I pull out 20 and stick it in a rainy day.
Nice.
Yes. But point. Yeah, not everybody buys a console at launch, but with that big of a player base, the people who are already planning to buy a console at launch probably still will, because those are usually the people who could afford it or had planned to afford it, stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it, like you said, it won't be as, well, huge of an incline in sales. It'll be a little more plateaued, tapered off, but it'll still be a pretty steep, growth for them. Because like the other thing is like trade-ins, because we're talking like most important to me is like, what the hell is going to run on my PS5? Like, is this game going to run on it? Is this game going to run on it? How's your backwards compatibility working? Is it limited to like?
They need to talk about that. They need to clarify that.
They need to say like, okay, not all your games are going to run day one. Here's a list of what will, and we're working on everything else.
I think more of them will run than we think they will, but only a certain, like that top 100 will be optimized.
Right. Yeah. I can agree with that statement. So it's just like, do I want to trade in my PS4 or am I holding on to it because what the backwards compatibility really means on the PS5?
How much would you get for it?
I don't know, but I could see GameSpot doing that whole thing where they're like, trade in your PS4 towards your PS5 and get like an extra $50, and then it's like, I got to do it before they're bankrupt. So right? I don't think I can wait a year.
I started hesitating earlier this year. I'm like, I don't know if I will ever pre-order anything from GameStop ever again, because we'll open when it comes out.
No, like I think maybe Amazon's the way to go.
Best Buy is pretty good.
Yeah, Best Buy. So I wouldn't even like GameStop. It's rough pre-ordering with them. Anytime I go in there and buy something, they're like, do you want to pre-order? And I'm like, no.
You want some Fortnite merch?
I'm like, I don't want.
Are GameStop still open in your area?
Actually, I haven't been in one in a long time, but it's North Carolina, so I'm sure they're open.
I have two in driving distance, and I'm sure they're not doing business or much business during the pandemic. I know that they have like pickup and stuff.
Yeah,
mine is pickup.
Yeah, because I'm between like 3 towns. I'm between Burlington, Waltham, and Lexington, and Waltham and Burlington both have like, one's a mall GameStop, like in a mall, like one of those sad ones. They're all kind of the sad one now.
Yeah.
And I like that one. I like the staff. A lot of times GameStop, it's where you like the staff too. I like the staff at the mall one. I don't really like the staff as much in the full-size GameStop, because they treat me like a girl when I go in. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. That kind of treatment. I don't know if you've ever seen a girl in a video game store get treated like that. Yes, I have. Like, I went in one time. I was getting another controller for my Switch to play, because I was having people over. I wanted to play Smash Bros. Needed a 4th controller. Was going in to get this business because we all played Melee.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we prefer the GameCube
controller because it's the best one.
That's the Power A. So I was looking for a Power A wireless, battery-powered GameCube Nintendo Switch controller, and they're like, "Oh, do you know how these do you know like which controller you want?" And they're like explaining them to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's a Hori, that's that unlicensed brand, whatever." And I was like I was explaining the controllers to them by the end of the conversation. I was like, "You don't need to tell me which controller I should buy. I know what I'm looking for."
We're gonna make you a badge that says SL1 Dark Souls.
I did see a female GameStop employee interaction that was hilarious because the manager basically came in, pulled the guy aside and said, "Dude, get it the fuck together." Like, and it was loud enough that like 7 people heard him, and we were all kind of going. and I'm pretty sure the girl at some point said, "What? Just because I wear makeup and have tits, I can't play games? Is that what you're trying to say?" And I was like, respect.
Yeah, I remember one time too, I was in a GameStop, and I'll keep this short and sweet because as soon as I say it, you're going to know where this is going. There is this guy who was very much a dad, probably in his 40s, 50s. And he was trying to find kid-friendly games, and the GameStop guy was trying to recommend him Kingdom Hearts.
Oh no.
Oh god.
And the guy didn't know which one to buy.
Oh my god. None of them.
No.
None of them.
Oh no.
Not that they're not kid friendly.
I don't need to finish the story, but you know
I could just see Michaela just sitting there just scratching her arm going, "Want to explain, but this is gonna be weird."
Yeah. He was like holding up a 2.8 and a 3, and I was like, "No."
Oh no.
Please don't. I'm literally standing in line to pick up like my Neo 2 pre-order. I'm like, "Please, I'm gonna kill you both. Just please don't walk away. Just put them down. I'll get you something from Nintendo instead. Like, just put it down."
Michaela's going, "There's not enough deodorant for this conversation, guys." And neither of you are equipped to have it, so simple and clean.
Only.
That's really
Well, before we go, the final sad delay of the gaming year, hopefully the last one, Sports Story was delayed.
Oh,
The makers of Golf Story.
You know what?
Fuck 2020. Jesus Christ.
Give them their time.
So that won't be at Indie World tomorrow.
Nope.
Take your time.
Wait, there's an Indie World tomorrow? Jesus.
Yes, there is.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know where I've been. I've been, in Estera. I've been in Crosscode. I've been in Guacamelee. And then I've been watching anime. Because
there's an Indie World tomorrow, and supposedly there's a Nintendo Direct in Asia Wednesday to announce Ring Fit going there.
Something else too. It's something on the 22nd. Hold on, where's my notes? There's something else coming up. DC Fandom.
Wait,
too.
she said notes. She had notes?
I keep notes because I write for this thing called the Obelisk, and I do a newsletter every month.
And she's
I know that. I know that. Yeah, that's what I was going for.
She's up here.
That's what I was going for.
We're like way the fuck down there, right? Like more importantly, she has to get out the binoculars and look straight down to find us.
Binoculars. Thursday.
What the fuck?
Thursday brings us episode 33 and Remnant subject 2923. And that's all. That's important.
And I to just further demonstrate how trash I am, I don't have a dumb dad joke prepared to take us out. So Moose, take us away.
Bye.
At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PONation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXODmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter @StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool @Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter @GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter @RedXMaud. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be @infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.